We're following some breaking news. Dramatic new video shows Israeli airstrikes hitting a building in Gaza City. Israeli forces are also continuing their ground offensive after vowing to take full control of Gaza City. The aid group, Doctors Without Borders, now says it is suspending its work in Gaza City because of deteriorating conditions. We're also getting new details on a Trump administration proposal to end the war in Gaza. That 21-point plan calls for all hostages held by Hamas to be released within 48 hours of an agreement. That's according to a source familiar with the proposal. Joining us now is Dr. Aqsa Durrani. She's a board member for Doctors Without Borders and a pediatrician. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. Let's start here. Please tell us about the decision to withdraw your staff from Gaza City.
This was a devastating decision that we did not make lightly. Our facilities in Gaza City were being surrounded by tanks and airstrikes moving closer and closer within less than half a mile. So we were really forced to make this decision that was the last possible option. We have now left infants who require critical care, patients with multiple amputations who cannot flee, and other patients with severe illnesses who are now left without care because they are too vulnerable to comply with these forced displacement and mass evacuation orders. As you mentioned, the airstrikes have been relentless, and there are now 1 million people in Gaza City, in this densely populated area, that are left at risk.
Doctor, can you describe what conditions are like in hospitals right now across Gaza?
There is absolutely no fully functioning hospital left in the Gaza Strip. We have seen and witnessed time and time again the systematic destruction of healthcare infrastructure in Gaza, throughout Gaza. So what we are witnessing is that we are now, as a result of the siege, also having to delay critical surgeries because we don't have the supplies to be able to conduct these critical surgeries that our patients need as a result of typically injuries from airstrikes. So the lack of supplies, the lack of medicines, the lack of fuel, the lack of clean water, all of these things are impacting the conditions in hospitals and making it impossible for us to, deliver the care that is necessary for the Palestinian people in Gaza.
Doctor, we've heard it from the Israeli leaders. People in Gaza City have been told to evacuate, but many of them say they have nowhere else to go or don't have the means to leave. From your perspective, what might happen to these people?
I can tell you, I was in Gaza for 2 months earlier this year. There is absolutely nowhere safe in Gaza. And as I mentioned, there's 1 million people in this densely populated area who have already been forced to flee multiple times and have been, injured or been subject to relentless bombing over these past 2 years of this genocide. The reason that we are, calling on world leaders in this week that everyone has gathered here in New York for the UN General Assembly to exert political, economic, and any diplomatic pressure that they can to end this genocide is because so many people, as you say, do not have the ability to flee. They are either too vulnerable or they have nowhere to go because there's absolutely nowhere safe. So, Doctors Without Borders, doctors, we cannot stop this genocide alone. It will require all of us banding together. And that is why we are also calling, especially on government, to heed this call in this critical moment where so many people are at risk.
Well, Dr. Aqsa Durrani, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on this critical issue. And I hope that your doctors and staff remain safe. Appreciate your time.